Welcome to Live Interactive English. I'm Matt.
I'm Winnie.
Today we're looking at part 2 of our dialogue, an island vacation.
Yes.
All right, so we've had 2 people that are planning to go on a vacation, and I think they're going to go to an island. So when you're on vacation, Winnie, what are your favorite things to do? What activities do you like to do?
Well, in our last episode, we met Gemma, who does not like to just kind of relax on a beach. And I can really agree with that because I really enjoy tanning and sunbathing, but I find the aspect of lying on a bed or like the sand very not pleasant. So I actually swim in pools because then you're also tanning, but you're not bored. So you're constantly moving.
So that's what you like to swim in pools on vacations?
Yeah, but really nice pools.
Okay.
Yeah.
I see.
And because I don't like to swim in the ocean because I'm scared of the ocean.
Okay, so your beach vacation options are limited then.
I don't like to go to the beach, to be honest.
Okay.
But what about you? Because I know you like a tropical vacation. You never say no to one.
Well, I like tropical weather, but I don't often like to go to beach locations because I find that I get too bored just sitting on the beach.
Yeah.
And what I really like to do is like walk around a big city and try to see, the very local parts of a big city, get away from the tourist areas and just see local people living their lives and how they do that.
Right, you want to experience something new that's different from what you're used to.
Exactly, yeah.
Yes, well, as we know from the last episode, Phil has convinced Gemma to branch out and try a sunny island tropical adventure, and we'll see what they get up to.
While on vacation, Phil and Gemma approach the beachfront hotel concierge.
Good morning, sir and madam. How can I help you today?
Hello, we'd like to go parasailing on Thursday, please.
Of course. What time?
I think we should go at about 11 a.m. If we go after lunch, we might feel a bit sick.
Very sensible. We do have a free slot at that time, so I'll book it for you.
Great. Do you know what the weather will be like?
It looks like there's going to be a storm on Thursday night, so it could be a little windy out there in the morning.
Oh, that's fine. It'll only make it more exciting.
Let's get started with part 2 of an island vacation. We have arranging activities. So while on vacation, Phil and Gemma approach the beachfront hotel concierge. And why don't you explain what a concierge is?
All right, so a concierge is someone who works at a hotel and helps people to arrange activities or to book activities that they might want to do.
Right.
It also might help people to do things like getting a taxi. If they need to get one from the hotel, you can talk to the concierge.
They're kind of like the hotel's Google. They know a lot about not just the hotel, but also the local area.
Yeah, that's right.
Right. And so the concierge says, "Good morning, sir and madam. How can I help you today?"
All right, Phil says, "Hello, we'd like to go parasailing on Thursday, please."
So Phil says he wants to go parasailing. What is that?
Parasailing is an activity that many people do in these kind of tropical beach locations. And it's where you get pulled behind a boat. So you have a rope that's attached to the boat and a rope that's attached to the person. And you have a parasail, which is like a parachute, and it helps you to lift up into the air. So you're actually being pulled behind the boat in the air, not touching the water, very high above the water.
Right.
We can give you a view of everything there is to see.
Wow, so you'd have to go very fast, though. Oh, I don't know about that. Okay, well, the concierge says, of course, what time?
Gemma says, I think we should go at about 11 a.m. If we go after lunch, we might feel a bit sick.
Yeah, it's kind of like you don't go to a theme park and go on a roller coaster right after a big snack.
Okay, yeah, so I guess they want to have a big lunch, but they want to make sure they're not
gonna meet that lunch again.
Yes, that's right. So the concierge says, very sensible. we do have a free slot at that time. So I'll book it for you.
So he says very sensible. What does that mean?
Okay, sensible is an adjective and it means what is generally considered to be smart or wise to do.
Right.
So it's generally what most people would consider to be the smart choice.
Or like good thinking.
Good thinking, yeah, it's something that you should know, but it's sensible. You've thought ahead.
Right.
You're not just
You're planning it out.
planning it out. All right, so for example, my sister always makes very sensible decisions.
My sister does make very sensible decisions, unlike me. But Phil says, great! Do you know what the weather will be like? Yeah, because I would imagine you wouldn't really want to go parasailing while there's a thunderstorm.
And just like, booking tours and other things, another part of the concierge's job is to know about the local situation. So, of course, he knows the weather. He says, it looks like there's going to be a storm on Thursday night. So it could be a little windy out there in the morning.
Right. So even though the storm's at night, of course, the morning, it's kind of the calm before the storm, but if it's windy, that might make it a little unsafe if you're going parasailing. But then Gemma says, oh, that's fine. It'll only make it more exciting. So Gemma is a little bit of a daredevil. She doesn't really care.
Right, you can see that, yeah, Gemma, originally didn't really want to go to the beach because she thought it would be boring and she wanted to do something like skiing.
Yeah.
So you can certainly see that, yeah, Gemma's a little bit more of a,
Adventurous person.
She likes these exciting activities, and even the thought of maybe it being more dangerous, she just thinks, well,
Sign me up.
More exciting.
Yeah. Gemma, I would pack an extra parachute, but let's see what they get up to after the break.
Hello， 大家好，我是 Hanny。今天的课文对话就要来继续看 Phil 和 Gemma 的海岛之旅。对话一开始，他们走向海滨饭店的服务台人员，想请他安排周4要玩拖曳伞的活动。先补充一下 ，concierge 这个字就表示旅馆的服务台人员，那么 parasailing 则表示拖曳伞运动。服务台人员询问 Phil 他们想要安排在什么时间，那 Gemma 说应该是上午11点左右。如果吃完午饭才去呢，可能会玩到有点想吐。那服务台人员觉得他的考量非常明智，11点那个时段刚好是空的，可以帮他们预定。不过呢，服务台人员也提到，星期4晚上会有暴风雨，所以上午可能会有一点风。Gemma 觉得没关系啦，这样只会让拖曳伞玩起来会更刺激。好，单字 sensible 它就是形容明智的、理智的。Winnie 老师这时候用到2个形容词来描述 Gemma， 他用到 daredevil D-A-R-E-D-E-V-I-L， 那这个字可以形容像鲁莽大胆的这种蛮勇的那种感觉。那么 adventurous 就是在 adventure 后面去 e 再加 o-u-s， 它可以形容是勇于冒险的，或者是冒险的、惊险的。好，那我们接回到课文中。
Phil and Gemma are on the beach.
Oh my goodness, that was so scary.
You didn't enjoy it?
I did, but I didn't think we would go so high.
But you told him you wanted to go as high as possible.
I know. I felt brave beforehand. Silly me.
Well, we've done it now. We've conquered the skies.
We sure have.
Hey, let's just relax here for a bit. We can buy a couple of those coconuts and drink the coconut water inside them.
That sounds perfect. We're so lucky to be here.
Welcome back. We are continuing with our island vacation.
Yes.
So, before the break, Gemma and Phil were booking their parasailing activity with the hotel concierge.
Right.
But now we're moving on to relaxing after parasailing.
So they're alive.
They survived despite the windy conditions. They both survived.
Yeah, much to, I guess, Gemma's disappointment, because maybe that wasn't as exciting then.
Maybe not. Maybe. Phil and Gemma are on the beach.
Right, so they are relaxing. And what does it mean to relax? It means to just calm down and not feel nervous about something. Or in other terms, they're winding down, because when you do something like parasailing, you kind of get your energy all riled up. So I would assume they need to kind of relax a little bit, calm down. Yeah, so for example, watching TV helps me relax after I've done my homework. Yes, after doing something stressful like homework, it's nice to go the other way and just relax. Yeah.
All right, so in this scene or this dialogue, we have just Phil and Gemma. So I will read Phil's lines and you can read for Gemma.
Okay. Gemma says, "Oh my goodness, that was so scary."
Oh, okay.
Okay, so Gemma, you're not as, brave.
Not as brave as we thought.
Yeah.
Phil says, "You didn't enjoy it?"
But then Gemma says, "I did, but I didn't think we would go so high." So she was expecting, maybe she thought, oh, what's the big deal? But little did they know, they went extra fast for her.
Well, they do go very high on
do.
those parasails.
They
so
do,
I think it would be quite scary. But the one thing is you're usually, you should be
Still attached?
Oh, no. Well, yes, that too, but also only above the water.
Right.
So if you were to fall, at least you would be landing on water.
Yeah, I mean, you do hear horror stories about how the rope gets cut and they fly away, but that's a different type of scary.
Okay. Well, Phil says, but you told him you wanted to go as high as possible.
Okay, so listen, Gemma, you gotta know that's what you should expect. She says, "I know, I felt brave beforehand. Silly me." So she's kind of learned her lesson.
Right, she felt brave beforehand, but not so much now.
Right.
So she's used the word beforehand here, which means the same as before. It means taking place in the past. But in this case, when we use beforehand, we mean it's before a particular event. So in this case, she's referring to the time before they went parasailing.
Right, so maybe she's still talking to the guy controlling the boat, and she's feeling confident, and she's saying, "Let's go higher." But then she says, "Silly me," because now she knows, I did not know what I was getting myself into. That's why she's saying silly me, because she's saying, wow, if I had known they were going to go that fast, that high, maybe I wouldn't have told him to do it. Yeah.
And then Phil says, well, we've done it now. We've conquered the skies.
So they're also kind of conquering their fears too.
Right, so that's actually two uses of the word conquer. So this verb, to conquer, it means to take something by military force.
Oh, okay. So they have a piece of the sky now?
Well, not quite. It also means to overcome a problem or something that's in your way, such as you mentioned with conquering a fear. It's a way of overcoming a fear or getting past it. So we have an example sentence. The king conquered the city and built himself a castle there. So this means that he took it by military force. And when we use this to say that Gemma and Phil conquered the sky, what we're saying is sort of a metaphor. They didn't actually use any force, but they feel like they now own the skies. They are now ruling the skies because they have conquered them.
Right, and they're trying something new too. And Gemma then says, we sure have. So even though she was scared, you know, hey, she got through it.
That's right. So Phil says, hey, let's just relax here for a bit. We can buy a couple of those coconuts and drink the coconut water inside them.
Phil and I think we have the same mind, because I love a good fresh icy coconut. And Gemma does too, because she says, that sounds perfect. We're so lucky to be here. And yes, Gemma feels lucky to be on this island and sipping on their coconuts. What is a coconut? It is not a nut. It is actually a fruit. And it's actually the seed of palm trees. So it is very hard. It kind of looks like wood/hair on the outside. And if you crack it open, there is this white type of flesh that you can actually eat. And there is the water, the coconut water, the juice that you can drink. It has a lot of electrolytes. It's very good for you. So for example, there are so many coconuts in the trees. And typically when we think of an island vacation, you kind of think coconuts.
Yeah, a lot of these tropical island destinations do have palm trees and therefore have coconuts, and they have people selling coconut trees.
Because it's hard to open. You need someone to open it for you. But after 2 days of this tropic adventure, I feel like I could go for a vacation right now.
You know what? Me too. So it's time for me to go.
Okay.
We'll see you guys next time. Goodbye.
Bye.
Phil 和 Gemma 已经玩完拖衣伞了，那现在在沙滩上面放松。Gemma 回想起刚刚玩拖衣伞的过程，觉得实在有够恐怖。她是很喜欢没错，但没想到会飞那么高。好笑的是呢，是 Gemma 自己跟人家说要越飞越高越好。现在他觉得自己真是愚蠢。那不管怎么样，他们已经顺利玩完了。Phil 说他们征服了天空，现在就在沙滩上放松一下吧。那也可以去买2-3颗椰子来喝椰子水。好，单字 relax。relax 这个动词它表示放松、使放松或是轻松。Winnie 老师这时候有用到一个片语叫 wind down。wind down 它可以指放松，或者是表达活动逐步停止的意思。下一个单字 conquer 它是动词，表示征服、克服或是战胜。Coconut 则是指椰子。老师提到椰子水含有电解质，那我们学一下 electrolyte 就是指电解质。那这边一个重点，我们进入文法时间。好，这边要介绍的是 as 形容词 as possible 或者是 as 副词 as possible， 表示尽量、尽可能怎么样。这个片语可以改写成 as 形容词 as one can， 或者是 as 副词 as one can。这个 can 必须依时态来变化。我们看2个例句。I'll get back to you as soon as possible， 也可以说 I'll get back to you as soon as I can， 我会尽快回复你的。第2个例句是 He tried to stay as calm as possible， 也可以说 He tried to stay as calm as he could， 他试着尽量保持冷静。好，那么以上今天的讲解，同学们别走开，马上回来哦。
While on vacation, Phil and Gemma approach the beachfront hotel concierge.
Good morning, sir and madam. How can I help you today?
Hello, we'd like to go parasailing on Thursday, please.
Of course. What time?
I think we should go at about 11 a.m. If we go after lunch, we might feel a bit sick.
Very sensible. We do have a free slot at that time, so I'll book it for you.
Great. Do you know what the weather will be like?
It looks like there's going to be a storm on Thursday night, so it could be a little windy out there in the morning.
Oh, that's fine. It'll only make it more exciting.
Phil and Gemma are on the beach.
Oh my goodness, that was so scary.
You didn't enjoy it?
I did, but I didn't think we would go so high.
But you told him you wanted to go as high as possible.
I know. I felt brave beforehand. Silly me.
Well, we've done it now. We've conquered the skies.
We sure have.
Hey, let's just relax here for a bit. We can buy a couple of those coconuts and drink the coconut water inside them.
That sounds perfect. We're so lucky to be here.
Zhanghua is a county in central Taiwan, and one of the most popular townships there is Lukang. While I personally know Lukang for its delicious seafood, today I'm going to introduce to you another thing Lukang is well known for: Lukang Old Street. Lukang was one of the 3 major port cities during the Qing dynasty where merchant vessels gathered and business flourished. Putou Street, Yaoling Street, and Dayou Street were next to a river. Over time, this area became a hub for ship companies. The shops here all faced the streets with the river behind. These shops did business on the streets and loaded goods from the back doors that led to the river. What locals called Lukang Old Street is in this area. Lukang Old Street includes a series of long streets and old-style wooden houses. The curved alleys block strong winds and are good for defense. A walk along the red brick road will make you feel like you have gone back in time. Traditional shops, including mian cha and pastry shops, line the streets. The famous Lukang Mazu Temple is the religious center for locals with wooden carvings and paintings. The Lukang Longsan Temple and the Lukang Wenwu Temple are also popular attractions in Lukang. Hopefully, you've learned a lot about Lukang Old Street today. With its charming historical architecture, Lukang is a perfect place to get a feel of Taiwan's rich cultural heritage. Whether you're a foreign tourist or local visitor, there is always a lot to discover when you visit Lukang.